What's your best advice on being street smart? I used to play poker in unsavory places with some extremely unsavory people, so keeping a low profile was always a priority. Something really basic I would do was wrap my lower denomination bills outside the higher ones. So if I had a few hundreds and a few fives, I'd put the fives on the outside. That way, in case anyone with nefarious intent saw my roll, they'd think I wasn't worth it. Sure, it's not a bala thing to do at all, but then, I'm not exactly big pimping anyway. Also, I'd rather live and keep my money. Something else that can help diffuse a situation is a simple yawn. I've been in a number of situations where I felt a bad vibe, or thought someone was going to start some crap, so I'd fake an indifferent, slightly distracted yawn, then rub my eyes. It's a very passive thing to do, and people won't be threatened by it. I have no idea why it works, or really what the psychology behind it is, but it's worked for me a number of times. Never underestimate what a stranger may know. Don't leave anything visible in your car. Don't draw attention with those Apple stickers, or any fancy brand logos, on your car window. Think about where you are and what's going on around you. Or just drive a really shitty looking car, like me. I'm female and quite short, and I'm always out alone. Over the years attending Dragon Con, I've had to walk alone to my car at 3 AM wearing something stupid sexy flashy. I stay close to the outer edge of the sidewalk so no one passes on the outside of me, possibly pinning me to the wall, and if someone is approaching who looks like trouble, while they are still a distance away, I start phasing into a seething, suppressed rage psycho B-act, squeezing my hands into angry fists and muttering under my breath, "You fucking some biatch bastard say that to me, gon' rip his fucking nuts off," as if I'm ready to just fricking go off on the next sucker I see. It seems to work just fine. No one wants to poke a pre-pee off bobcat or an apeshit PMS sufferer on some sort of fresh rebound who's already primed to draw blood. Never brag about anything. Real gangsta ass and don't flex nuts cause real gangsta ass and know they got him. Don't wear headphones when you're walking alone, especially at night. I do this. It make me less paranoid. Although, the way I walk home is through a hospital, and it's rare that I see someone else walking. The odd time I'd see a doctor or nurse walk by. If you're walking and someone begins following you in a car, don't just start running. Turn around and run past them. They'll have to turn around and you'll have a head start. This always pee me off so bad in films. So what if you get home a little later, at least you ain't dead. Take mental note of everything. Pretend you noticed nothing. Keep your mouth shut. It is better to stay quiet and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Walk like you mean it. Don't cower. If you have to fight, remember that there's no such thing as a fair fight. Kick your opponent in the balls, gouge eyes, break fingers. In addition to this, I was taught that in a fight, go for 3 things: the breathing, throat, the vision, eyes, and the motion, balls, knees, etc. Removing any one of these things makes it easier for you to get away. Give taxi drivers a detailed route no matter where you are going. If a taxi driver thinks you're a tourist, he will take a longer route, making the fare much higher. Don't do this in London. London cabbies are more professional and trustworthy than most doctors, and as a tourist, there's no way you're planning your own taxi route in that city. Situational awareness will save your ass. Because I happen to have perfect situational awareness, Lana, which cannot be taught by the way. Act like you belong in whatever setting you're in. If you walk with purpose, nobody will question you. If walking alone in a sketchy place, walk with confidence. You have a lower chance of getting mugged. Never walk close to a building. If someone is hiding around the corner, they will be able to take you by surprise. Walk closer to the curb. That way you have a better sight around the corner. If you think you're being followed, start talking to yourself and make crazy noises. You can also call someone and talk to them, but be warned they may try to grab your phone and run. There are some places you should just stay away from at all costs. If you're visiting a new location, ask the locals, such as bartenders, hotel clerks, etc., what places you should avoid at what times. No matter how strong you are or if you're carrying a pocket knife, You will most likely lose when getting mugged. Never try to use your pocket knife in a fight, ever. If you're in a new area prone to muggings, carry a dummy wallet with a few store club cards, a couple of bucks, and a faked one that looks real at a glance. Also, take an old cell phone. If you get mugged, give them your fake items. Yeah, the knife thing. Just put that out of your head altogether. When you pull a knife in a fight, it becomes a knife fight. In a knife fight, both parties tend to get cut up a lot. If you pull a knife, you are going to get cut. Even an expert knows this. Never forget that you probably aren't even half as savvy as you think you are. Look like you belong there. If you look like a victim, you'll probably become a victim. Excuse me while I stand on a street corner with a huge paper map, looking frantically in all directions. Just blend the heck in. Everyone always wants to turn heads and be unique, but that's crap when it comes to getting around unmolested. If you're going to a new place, figure out how they dress, watch how they carry themselves, adapt. A few years ago I spent a couple of months in Bulgaria. I've spent most of my life between Ireland and Alaska, so my personal style is decidedly rustic. Jeans and flannels. But when I was there I played the part. Tight pants, V-necks, all that crap. I didn't wander around looking at crap. I kept my mouth shut unless it was absolutely necessary for me to speak or ask questions. I just learned by viewing, blended in, and nobody cared about me. My friend on the other hand stuck to his preferences. He got mugged and harassed I don't know how many times. One day we were on the metro and shortly after stepping on got surrounded by Roma gypsies. They packed around him because he looked Western and robbed him for everything he had. Left me totally alone. So that's my 2 cents. Don't stand out, ever. If you're surrounded by hippies, look like a hippie. If you're surrounded by hicks, look like a hick. If you're in a sketchy neighborhood, look just as sketchy as everyone else. It seems simple, but it's always served me well. I've been to a lot of places in my life, including a lot of crappy places. Never been mugged, never been threatened or harassed. The odd man out is always the target. When I lived in New Orleans, I worked on a building crew and the boss used to pick us all up, then drop us off at the end of the day. He used to get a kick out of dropping me off on MLK Boulevard, the saddest, grimmest, most gang-ridden mile-long section of street in the city. The first day, I gripped my lunch pail in my left fist, stared straight ahead and marched the frick home, shoulders itching, waiting to be jumped. God, I hated my boss, but I needed the job. The second time he pulled that crap, I stopped outside a small church where someone had painted Maya Angelou's slogans on the wall. An old black dude and I shot the crap for a few minutes. Before I left, he advised me not to come down MLK Boulevard. Fat chance of that. By the 4th time, I was still aware of everything going on around me, but people had stopped eyeing me. I'd just become another grunt heading home from work. I guess the lesson that I learned was that when faced with a threatening situation, even if only a self-perceived one, suck it up, eyes forward, chin up, watch everything and everyone around you without moving a single neck muscle, and most importantly, breathe. You gotta breathe. Dude, your boss is a total dong. Act like you belong. If you suspect someone is trying to take the pee, rise up to it, question them on it. I'm not saying you should be aggressive, just that you can stand up for yourself. Be relaxed but stand up straight, looking ahead. If someone is trying to sell you crap or get you to do them a favor, consider why they're doing it. Don't be afraid to say no or even pee off, pal. If you strongly suspect someone is trying to pick a fight, the chances of you talking your way out of it are slim. The last thing out of your mouth should not be "I'm not looking for any trouble" means I'm weak. Please take advantage of me and you're going to get stomped. If you can fight but don't like it, hit the leader loudmouth as hard as you can before he gets you. The throat is a good start, then run. If you can't fight, the only option you have is your mouth. Get chatty and friendly. Ask where's good to get food or drink locally, or if they prefer one place over another. Smoke if you do. It shows you're local and acting calm. The only chance you have is to make yourself more human and less victim. If anything sounds too good to be true, it is. Oh, these really nice guys just want to show me this cool place all of a sudden. Yeah. Don't go. Mention your wife, girlfriend or kids. The amount of very bad situations I've avoided by interrupting a tense conversation by talking about the missus and kid being at home. You got any kids? I had a guy literally about to launch into me after a nightclub incident when I got him talking about how he keeps chickens for his kids, ended up with a handshake. People love talking about their kids, and it calms them down. Keep a distance between you and any potential aggressors, about 2 arms lengths. If they keep edging towards you, don't be afraid to put out an arm with a flat palm and open fingers to back them off. Do not back up much yourself. This is all about not showing weakness. People are very good at picking this up. Don't show off. Dress as the locals dress. Talk as they do. If you are educated and sound like you are, talk at a level appropriate on the situation. This sounds like a very sound advice. And you don't need to keep yourself in such a situation to find out.